I'm Lauren Artress, and I'm the founder of Veriditas. And we're delighted that you want to join us today for an information about Chartres and all, and our pilgrimage there. And Catherine Anderson we're teaching together, and this is our third time actually teaching at Chartres. So we'll use this time together. Um, First of all, Catherine and I want to explain how this title tumbled out, cosmic creativity. We'll simply talk about it's connected to the new story. We've been working with Dermu Omerchu and Brian Swim in Chartres, and this is really kind of an application of it. Catherine, come on in here. You're we do want
Well,
to.
first, I want to say I'm so thrilled to see so many people that I know here on the call. And I know we had 48 people sign up, so a lot of people are probably just going to get the recording. So hello to them too. Um, so I'm really excited about this one. Before we started, I was saying to Lauren, now that I've been doing this work with Brian Swim and Diarmuid Omercha, my creativity has taken this leap forward, because when they started talking to us about, the new story and the new universal story, and the fact that we are co-creating with the universe, which is, it's interesting because many years ago, I created a postcard. It was actually in 2013 with a Teilhard de Chardin quote on it, which said, "Our duty is to proceed as if limits to our ability did not exist. We are collaborators in creation." And I've had that up on my wall for so long. And so Brian and Diarmuid took that much deeper, Lauren. Didn't you find that while you were there?
Yeah, oh, certainly. Brian Swim worked with Thomas Berry, and I know a lot of people know his name. And Thomas Berry really was a visionary. He's contemporary. He died in 2009, but with a very wonderful volume of work. He was actually a passionate priest, a Roman Catholic priest in the Passionate order. And the understanding that there needs to be a new vision to break through. And I think it's not a hard guess that things are not working on planet Earth. I think that's a real easy reach right now. And so because we're off in so many ways, we're off in so many things that are just not working, going wrong. And so Thomas Berry was the visionary behind the new story. We need a new story. And it's also saying we no longer, as us Christians, can rely on Genesis it's a mythological story, but it's not the real story that now is coming to us because we have machinery. We have the Webb telescope. Before that, we had the Hubble telescope. And now we're being able to see the outer reaches of space. And we're learning the story from that. And therefore, this new story that we're all part of the universe, we're all part of what's unfolding. And it's unfolding through us. And that is a huge change in our thinking. Thomas Berry and Brian's work is based on four tenets. One is science, for sure. The other is indigenous traditions. The other is women, the feminine. And then the other is classical religions, wisdom religions, including even Confucianism. So those four tenets are really helping us understand, and those are the elements we need to bring in for the new story, to have the new story moving forward. And think about that, finally weaving in indigenous knowledge about nature, finally acknowledging the feminine, about how there's other ways we can behave other than competition. You see, cooperation, all of those kind of things. So I love the weaving of that. And then the weaving of that is informing us, just like Catherine's saying, our creativity is helping the universe unfold. and every moment we're creative. So that's so this big title, Catherine,
Yeah,
cosmic
it carries.
creativity.
Yeah. Jim had said something. I remember writing down in my notebook, cosmic creativity. But I think what also happened during those 2 weeks, we were in our heads a lot because we were listening to all this wonderful information and watching these slideshows. And, SoulCollage, which I've been doing for the last 22 years, I trained with Sina Frost, who created the process. And then I trained facilitators to teach the process for 12 years. So my life changed when I discovered SoulCollage. It then changed again when I discovered the labyrinth. And I love both these modalities because they are both soul languages and they both help us become embodied in the work that we're doing. So we're not just taking it into the head and thinking, oh, this is wonderful information. We're looking at how do we bring it into our lives. So the other thing that we're working with is the imagination, because really this whole cosmic creativity is to do with the imagination. That's the part that helps us imagine a new world into being. And so Brian Swim often talks about the universe. Imagination is the universe dreaming through us. And I just love that idea. Imagination is the universe dreaming through us. It's a way that the cosmos continues its creative unfolding. And it's the way it begins to dream its new chapter through us, which makes perfect sense. Because when we imagine new things and bring them into being, that is how things change and unfold and grow. But SoulCollage is, Sina used to say that the images that you're drawn to are not random. They arise from the same deep place that dreams arise from. So it's almost like dreaming while you're awake in SoulCollage. So it's a wonderful way to listen to information and then to take the information and allow images to speak to you and to put them down in these collages that we make, this deck of cards that we make. It's a way of grounding the information instead of leaving it up in your head. And what I love about SoulCollage as well is that the images that you choose are really choosing you, especially when I explain to you how you choose them, which we'll do when we're there, is it's very much an embodiment process. And as the images choose you, you're able to bypass that conscious part of your mind and go to the deeper part. So often you will make SoulCollage cards that actually know more about where you want to go than you consciously know yourself. So it's a wonderful modality to use to take information and bring it into your everyday way of doing things.
And there's a strong parallel to the labyrinth as well. And I imagine some of this is new, either SoulCollage or the labyrinth and or both, new to some of you. So there's no prior knowledge needed. There's a suggested readings on the website. But that too about the labyrinth unfolding. And of course, the reason we're at Chartres Cathedral is because the labyrinth that was put in there, that's 800 years old, that design. And that, again, you're there, you're present with yourself, you're experiencing your experience instead of thinking about your experience. And then up comes, it really is visual dreaming as well in the labyrinth. And I love that parallel with it for sure. So
yeah, we're working with symbols and metaphor all the time in both the modalities, which makes for a really rich set of cards that you make. And everyone that comes gets their own book of images that I'm putting together specially for this theme, because I love doing that. That's my creative practice, is to think ahead of it and imagine what I think you might enjoy having in a book of images. Of course, you can always bring your own images too, but I will be creating a book so that you don't have to if you don't want to.
So this is a pilgrimage, folks. And it's a modern day pilgrimage. Usually the pilgrims would walk across the muddy fields of France to go to a sacred space, a site, especially for Lent. But here we are getting on an airplane, but it's a pilgrimage. And often people attend who are in transition in some way, or want to celebrate something, or want to just consciously open a new chapter in your life. And so it really begins when you begin to start thinking about it. And of course, you're all, many of you, some folks are already signed up that are in this group. But when you sign up, then it starts. Then it starts. And it's an important time for journaling. It's a wonderful time to pay attention to dreams. So our program is not academic. It's experiential and it's integrative. And so we don't have things packed. We do start at 9 o'clock in the morning, 9 to 11. That's our more informational time. It's also experiential. And Catherine and I have taught together. This is our third time, right, Catherine and Chart? And we have a good time. I mean, because you'll hear us discussing what is the imagination? How does this work? Wait a minute, what happens? All of those topics. And so that the first 2 hours, and then there's a break in between that, and after that we go to small groups. So people have what I would call an affinity group. You meet 6 other people, 5 other people, and they can be someone you go to lunch with or whatever. But and sharing stories about your life journey as well. And then in the afternoon, there's something different each time.
Tuesday afternoon is the tour of the cathedral, and we hope a little visit to the crypt as well. Mm-hmm. And then on Wednesday, it's an open afternoon. Thursday is an introduction to the labyrinth and the evening ritual. And Friday will be the kind of putting the finishing touches on your cards and a closing ritual. In the evenings, each evening is a little different. You're welcome to go to Vespers in the cathedral, or you can come to the room and work on your cards. That's a possibility as well. And then Thursday night is our private time in the cathedral, walking the labyrinth. And we have some wonderful music set up for you. And then we'll do some processing of the labyrinth walk the next morning. I hope that gives you a little taste. Friday evening is the dinner.
But it is flexible, especially when you're working on SoulCollage cards, that we allow extra time for that. But there's a lot of time just to walk down by the river, time for journaling, just time to have a glass of wine at the Serpent, whatever fits. And so I really like that. I have worked with some other folks in Chartres who just jam things in hour by hour by hour, and that's not integrative. On pilgrimage, your life changes, and you may not know that right away. We'll talk all about that once we're there, but it may be several months later when something major shifts. But it can often and all begin with pilgrimage. So.
And we will have a specific SoulCollage in the morning, at least an hour to do SoulCollage with your small group before, sitting with your small group. And then we'll have optional open studio, as it were, where the room will be open at certain hours where you can go if you want or not if you don't want. So, it's very much so you can pace yourself if you need to rest or if you'd rather come and make cards. I know in our last one with Diarmuid's class, we did SoulCollage as an optional in the afternoons, and everyone came, including Diarmuid himself. And it was a wonderful way for people to process what had been happening, from the head learning into the body. and through the cards. And then we're going to actually, in your small groups, do some work with questions with the cards, because it's not just a matter of making cards, it's also finding out what the cards have to say to you, that you make. And I love that Thomas Berry believed that artists and poets and spiritual teachers, they're the ones that help a culture feel its new story before it fully understands it. So they're the people that start bringing them into the creative practices that you do: collage, labyrinth walking, ritual, and storytelling. And I'm hoping Lauren will bring in some of her stories, because she's a wonderful storyteller. Those sort of things help us experience ourselves as part of this living cosmos, not to just think about it, by actually doing these things. I have a little saying on this little labyrinth that I pass out in my classes sometimes, which says, be a protector of joy and love on the planet by being a creator of it. And that is, to me, is what I think of as cosmic creativity. Be a protector of joy and love by being the creator of it. So it's what is the world you want to bring into being, and what can you do? What is yours to do? And I know Lauren's going to talk about, well, I hope she's going to talk about allurement, which is one of Brian Swim's terms, which I just love. This idea that the cosmos, the universe, there's something that it's pulling. Like I'm busy creating circles right now, these concentric circles. And if anyone said to me, why are you doing it? The answer is, I have no idea. All I know is that these circles are calling me. And that's sort of allurement. And to know that the things that we're pulled to, the things that give us joy, this is the universe saying, this is what you need to be doing. This is what you need to be doing more of. I love that concept. It really makes me happy to know that I'm in this collaboration with the universe and the cosmos out there, that I'm not just this little person wandering around doing my own thing. I'm part of something larger.
Yeah, and I think we'll talk about the powers of the universe, and that is a phrase from Brian Swim. But the universe, including the Earth, of course, is alive, and it's, if it were a person, it has certain talents and capacities, and allurement is one of them. And even by you being here on this call, to consider about, well, do I want to go to Chartres? That's allurement. That's allurement. So one of our questions is, what's calling you? What's calling you and why? And that might also be around that you're in transition. But also feel free to raise your hand and come on in with questions.
And Molly, I'm really glad you asked about the light show, because talk about creativity.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And not just the light show is just creativity that you would never have imagined. I would never have imagined before I went to Chartres. But when you think about it, the whole Chartres Cathedral the whole thing is these people that picked up these bricks and these bits of concrete, and they created something incredibly creative. That was a co-creation.
Sure.
So the whole of Chartres is like that. And that light show is on every evening, and it is absolutely magical. It's all around town, not just on the cathedral.
Right. The cathedral's the main part, but that's really, the light show is just really amazing. And it's been going on 15 years now. It's been a huge hit because people come again and again. And this last time we were there, Dawn, the show had changed again. So they adjusted, but it's magnificent. It's really magnificent. So it's something you kind of want to see more than once during the week. So yeah, other thoughts, other questions?
Yeah, what about getting to Chartres and accommodations? I think sometimes people are nervous to travel, and especially someone emailed me and said, I don't speak French. Well, I don't speak French either. I don't think you speak French either, Lauren.
No. I know cuisine French very well. I know
Okay.
how to eat.
Okay. Well, I know
I'm
bonjour.
good. Um,
And
yes,
Lauren, there are some amazing translation
yeah.
programs that you can put on your phone and
Mhm.
speak English into your phone and have it come out French. So if you're nervous about that, please do that. I mean, do the research and
Uh-huh.
find
Uh-huh.
yourself an app.
And I would say the only three you need to know: thank you, merci, bonjour, hello. So hello, thank you, please, probably. What is please?
And where is Uwe? Where is the toilet? The toilet's the same thing in France.
Yeah, yeah. So, and then if you smile at people, they will really help you. I can go anywhere, and as long as I smile and sometimes try and look a bit helpless, they help me. So, except I don't like looking helpless, but you know what I mean.
But
Yeah.
but I know that is often a concern. How do I do this? And one of the things, Don, we're still doing Circle for people who sign up. We have another video. We have another Zoom call, and Circle is a online, no advertisement, private group that help people hook up with one another. And in our other next video, we ask where people are from. Somebody may be meeting in the Chicago airport, and through Circle, you can arrange those kinds of things. And when you're at Charles de Gaulle, it's true, you really don't need French. You may ask one person and they don't speak English, but the next person will. And then we're finding we can suggest car services and things like that, but we find that Uber is quite good as well.
Yeah, I've used Uber my last couple of times to Chartres, and it's really easy. It is about $180. It's about an hour and a half's ride. But that's why it's quite fun to meet up with someone else, because then you share that and it's $90, so it's much more reasonable. So it really, if you've got Uber on your app, you just do that. The hardest part is working out where to meet them, but they have signs, and they have signs on the ground showing you. And I'm really happy to help people, connect with others that are going there. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
uh, so we want Annika to come in here.
Yes.
Uh,
Hi. So I'm really excited to be joining for Catherine's Week in Chartres. And I think that you wanted me to mention the bring a friend or travel with a friend discount. So one of the lovely things about attending Chartres with a friend, especially right now, is we have a special ticket type for this program that is called Attend with a Friend. And you actually get about, I think it's $200 off or $100 off for both of you if you both register. So if you're interested in attending with somebody else, email me. I'll put my email in the chat and I'll get you the code.
Good, so they'll have the code right
Monica,
then.
do you have when is early bird stop?
Yes, April 15th
Okay.
would be your last day to sign up at the early bird price.
And I'm going to say this: if you want to register and you don't have a friend, email me. And if I get two people that email me, I can put you together and you can become friends. Yeah. And then, if June doesn't work for you, September, Dermot Omochna and Brian Swim are coming back again to Chartres, as they were there last year. And, they're amazing. And yeah, so bear that in mind as well.
And early bird for September, Annika?
Let me double check. I believe it's June.
The other thing I want to say is accommodations. So once you register, you'll actually get an email from Veriditas asking if you want them to book accommodations for you. And Annika deals with all that. And it's at the Hotellerie St. Ives, which is where we do our program. And if it's your first time in Chartres, it's a really good idea to stay there because you're right where the program takes place. And, sometimes people you look at the map and you think, oh, this is really close to the hotel, and you find Chartres up on a hill, and there's some very steep hills down to the river. And if you're staying at the bottom of the hill, you've got a long climb up every day to the top. So again, if anyone needs help with that, I can always help you. If you found somewhere that you want to stay and you want to know how close it is. And then if there are nights that they can't accommodate you, let's say you're staying a day or two later, or you're coming a day or two earlier. We did find a hotel, the Mercury, MERCURE Hotel, which seemed really nice last year. Last Harlot stayed there, and it looked really nice. I really liked it because they have labyrinths all over.
They have labyrinths everywhere.
It's the only hotel in Chartres that is taking advantage of the labyrinths. But the city council of Chartres have taken the labyrinth to heart, because when they redid the paving outside the cathedral, Lauren, do you want to tell them what they can find there?
Well, it's a miracle. I mean, when I went there in 1991, and we knew that the labyrinth had been under chairs for probably 250 years, in little occasions, maybe cleaning the floor or BBC coming in and doing a special on the cathedral. But it was the best kept secret. And the officials of Chartres are nervous about their labyrinth. It's an embarrassment in a way, because here the Enlightenment and culture moved on, the Western culture, into the Enlightenment and the intellectual and the head, and that's where imagination and intuition got dropped off, by the way, out of the menu of human capacities. So it's been years really negotiating, being relationship with the cathedral and all of that. And I think we're at probably our sixth dean of the cathedral now. And then they have, as I say, an ambitious mayor of Chartres, and they redid the apron. For those of you who were there, now the whole apron of the cathedral is limestone. And in the limestone, the manhole covers have the Chartres labyrinth. The whole manhole cover is the Chartres labyrinth. So it's sort of a cosmic joke. Like, here they're trying to hide it, and here it's all over the city. I think there's 15 of them. So I always chuckle. I walk across them and I chuckle. They did not plan on that. But isn't that true? If you try to submerge something and deny it and repress it, voila, there it is. So
I want to see all sorts of places before I die, and so it's like the only way I can do it is just by going, even if I've never been there before. And it's such fun, because travel actually expands you as a person. It really does. It makes a difference. You start seeing with different eyes, and that's something that Lauren and I are going to be talking about as well, because the imagination is all about seeing with different eyes. Mm-hmm. And I'm also going to be bringing in the brain, because the new neuroscience on creativity and the brain and how that works is also really important to this whole cosmic creativity.
Yeah, so, very much so. And it's proving itself out for sure. Well, have a wonderful evening, morning. Yeah, Catherine.
One last thing. If you are interested in pilgrimage, a good book to read is The Art of Pilgrimage by Phil Cousino.
Yeah.
Really good book on pilgrimage, and a good way to prepare for a pilgrimage.
Mm-hmm. And there's a wonderful parallel to that called Pilgrim's Heart. And I'm forgetting her name. Kara, I'm looking at my library here. Pilgrim's Heart.
It's Sarah York.
Sarah, thanks. Yeah. So, folks, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being interested. Thank you for those of you who have signed up already. We'll be seeing you in not too long a time. So, thank you all. Take care. Have a good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is there.